Hi, I'm Annie Botticelli, and this is the Storyteller Forecast for Scorpio for September 2018. Go to my website, anniehelpsyou.com. Check out my blog. Also, if you've been wanting to have a live reading with me, but I've been on sabbatical from taking on new clients for a really long time, then you'll be happy to know that I do have some openings and I am taking on new clients for live readings right now. So you can see more about that and my astrology apprenticeship program at anniehelpsyou.com. So, what is going on this month? We have 10 amazing aspects that we're going to talk about. I'm so excited. We had some amazing aspects in August that I was worked up about, but now there are even more. We have Mars finally direct. This is definitely very much affecting everybody, but especially Scorpio because it's one of your rulers. We have Venus retrograde shadow period starting. We have freedom from Mercury retrograde cycle for a little while. So let's talk about all of this, okay? So the general energy of the month I'm calling for Scorpios, fierce financial focus. But it's impossible to embody the totality of an astrological picture in one phrase. But there are so many things that are speaking to your capacity to express yourself and make more money and establish your finances in a bigger way. Okay, so I'll come back to different points on that topic, but I just wanted to let you know this. Also, we have to remember, because I do get this question, fierce financial focus doesn't mean that your finances improve, right? They could, they definitely have every opportunity to, but sometimes there's a focus on them to help them improve, okay? So these energies are trying to bring about radical change in how you experience the material realm. There's energies around trying to help you be more successful with whatever your work is. The energies want to help you to bring in powerful partnerships to support your work and to be able to have an outlet for your creativity. Now this is a very important thing to know about humans and humanity. We are here to create. That's why we're here. There's a reason why the sun is at the center of our experience. We're in a heliocentric reality, right? So the sun is the center of our experience. And the sun in astrology represents your desire, your passion, your creativity. So we're here to create. And we create according to the imprints that we have inside. And whatever imprints we have inside, they're outside because we live in a holographic reality. So you watch these shows that have holograms and you see, basically like DNA, there's in DNA, in one blood droplet, there's the imprint for the whole person. It's a hologram. Everything is holographic. So everything outside of us is inside of us, and everything inside of us is outside of us. So if these aspects, and there are so many beautiful ones, are not coming together to make magical things happen for you, it's because you're not a vibrational match for what they're trying to do and what you're hoping to receive. Okay, so we just have to spread the seeds of empowerment right now and tell you that you have to take responsibility for your destiny and take an active role in your destiny. And that's why I do astrology, is to help you take an active role in your destiny. All right, so now all that being said, we have Mars waking up from its slumber. Most of you will have experienced that as having obstacles, being more lazy, losing ambitions. There are the few of you that may have had the opposite and got supercharged and productive. Whatever you've been experiencing from Mars, it's about to reverse, okay? So if you've been lazy and unmotivated, your ambitions are going to start to come back. And even though the ambitions won't restore fully likely until October 10th when Mars regains full strength, the sparks of life are coming on. It's going to be maybe like you wake up one day and a light switch is on, like, my energy level is back, my ambitions are back, I'm back to normal. Or it could be a slow, gradual kind of slow waking up. But in any case, that's happening. And it's perfect timing because this window at the beginning of September is actually the best window for a long time, or since a long time, for a long time. Okay, so we haven't had an open, effervescent, bubbling up that has freedom from the retrogrades in this way for months. And we're not going to have it again until mid-December. So if you have to do something important, if you have to bring something out and it is ready and you're sure of it, this first week in September has a massive amount of potential. Also, things that you've worked on can come to amazing fruition from these aspects, okay? So Saturn and Uranus have been locked in a beautiful configuration from the middle of August through the middle of September is when that runs. So they're just locked there. And that's bringing material manifestations for any of the things that were not material. So ideas, dreams, hopes, discussions coming down into the earth form. For you early degree placements, let's see, and some of you middle degree placements, that means basically the first half or so of the sign, like the birthdays in the first half of the sign or around 15 degrees or so. This energy is really lighting up your communication sector. Your communication sector, how you communicate, with what do you communicate, your patterns, you know, what are the outlets for your creativity? So this is what I was getting to with the whole heliocentric reality thing. We're here to create. And there are different methods that we each create, and we're learning different methods as we go along. And there are hidden gifts and talents that we have that are ready to be available too, right? So in 10 years from now, we might be communicating or sharing our gifts in totally different ways than we are doing it right now. And right now, we can have open up new things, new ways to communicate. So Scorpios that are early placements, you're going to have both this Saturn and Uranus beautiful trine, along with when the Sun in the Mercury in Virgo comes along to make the grand trine. All of this is going to be aspecting your third house of this communication. And even for you middle degree placements, you're going to have the Pluto and Jupiter aspecting your third house of communication. Later degree placements are going to have this more focused in the second house. So actually, okay, so basically early and middle degree placements are going to have this third house very wonderfully aspected. These are the communication things that I've been talking about. All early and middle and late placements are also going to have the second house completely beautifully aspected, and this has to do with finances. So again, how you make money, how you use money, environmental projects. This is another way I've seen this manifest. So if you are working on, if you're a steward for an environmental project or land or something connected to divine feminine energy, you know, like something that has to do with the earth or sustainability, this can also manifest this way. Lots of energy towards that. So remember that the aspects we're talking about, the trine for Saturn, Uranus, and then when Mercury comes and joins that, that's all in the earth placement. So grounding things, bringing them down into fruition, also can have to do with material realms, also can have to do directly with earth things, you know, sustainability projects and things like that. Or it could just be luxury items or anything in the material world. And then the Pluto-Jupiter aspect, that has to do with earth and water. So, you know, it's this energy of emotions, of relationships being brought into how you make money. And for you, let's see, later degree placements and some of you middle degree placements, the energy of somebody in the backdrop, like maybe a hidden person, a secret person, somebody that wants to be anonymous, somebody that comes from out of the blue and maybe you don't even know, a benefactor of some sort can come and assist you with these projects. For you middle and, let's see, some of you middle and you early degree placements, this is also very much focused on expanding who you think you are or who you're showing to the world. Everybody has more to them than other people see, you know, and especially Scorpio energy always has a lot of quiet things, you know, that maybe they're not quick to tell other people. But this aspect is very much bringing this energy out about helping you to own what you're bringing and helping you to be vocal about, or with the support of somebody else, have someone else bring you out where what you're doing is being expressed and shared with others. So just so much sweetness. So these, let's see, the Earth trine, which is at 2 degrees, everyone's going to have beautiful potentials from this. But those of you who were born like October-born Scorpios, or if you're watching for your rising or moon and it's from 0 to around 7 degrees, you'll get extra blessings because this will blend more closely with your placements. And then for the Jupiter and Pluto aspect, anyone between 13 and 23 degrees, if you're watching for your rising sign or your moon sign, or like from the 5th through the 15th, for your birthdays, you'll get an extra kiss from that aspect. Okay, so let's see. The new moon energies for early and some middle will be in the 11th house. For the rest of the middle and the late degree placements, you'll have the new moon energies in the 10th house. The new moon happens on September 9th, and this is a new moon at 17 degrees of Virgo. So early and some middle degree placements are going to have the energy of the internet-based projects, community efforts, anything having to do with technology, groups, social media, any kind of social interactions or circles or teams or organizations. This can also be humanitarian efforts. So that's extra lit up for you with new possibilities with the new moon. And then the rest of the middle and later degree placements, you're going to have that new moon in the 10th house, which is your work and career. Now, even you earlier degree placements, even though, and the rest of the middle that I said were grouped into that 11th house new moon, all Scorpios are going to have the 10th house aspected in major ways. So career, work, your place out into the world, your highest expression in a way, like as it relates to what you're doing outside of yourself and what you're doing in the world. Things involving authority figures or being your own authority figure, recognition at work, promotions, business expansion, anything having to do with being recognized. Fame is also highlighted here, so being known for something. And things having to do with dads also. So you as a father, your masculine energy or your relationship with father or someone who plays that role for you. One more thing about the new moon. Because this is in an earth sign, and Virgo particularly, the new moon, anyone with, if you're watching for your rising sign or sun sign between 12 and 22 degrees, like the closer to 17 degrees, the stronger, you're going to have this new moon also kiss your Scorpio placement. So that's extra benevolence and extra manifestations for you. And so that equates to, kind of the same birth dates I gave you for the Jupiter-Pluto. The 4th through 14th, 5th through 15th, kind of in that section there, will be most enhanced with that as well. So you guys in that grouping, you have a couple of things that are giving you some extra boosts. So overall, these amazing aspects, the biggest outer planet ones that have the most effect, are beautifully aspected with Scorpio because they're earth and water. So they're going to blend with you all even better, even though they'll bring blessings or potentials for everybody. And there's just so much potential for your communication, your work. There's also some possible surprises in relationships, but for the most part, that looks like somebody surprising you to assist you, somebody coming in and offering support, because the angle that Uranus is in, which is the one that brings the surprises, is in a positive angle. And some, work stuff, just so many things going on for Scorpio this month. So those are the things that are most on my mind for Scorpio. Now I want to talk about more of these beautiful aspects. I want to talk more about Venus retrograde, which rules love, beauty, and money. So you want to listen up about that. Also, I'll go through and give you great dates to look out for and the dicey ones, including one that's like a red flag that I want you to be aware of. So the theme of the month for all signs for September 2018 is major movement and momentum. We've been waiting for a long time for Mars to wake up from its slumber from retrograde. Most people will have been affected from the Mars retrograde as feeling lazy, unambitious, trying to do things that aren't working out, getting super frustrated. And so for those people, things are going to change now. And either it's going to be like a light switches on and your energy levels, your enthusiasm, your ambitions just wake up, or it will be like a slow tingling awakening of coming back to life of your ambitions, your goals, and your motivations to reach goals. and to do anything really. For the percentage of you, the smaller percentage of you who experience Mars retrograde with the opposite, in many cases, people who have Mars retrograde at birth will experience the opposite. So for them, Mars retrograde is their most productive time. So every 2 years, they have a cycle of, 4 or so months where they wake up, they get all this stuff done. So for y'all, you're going to be going back to sleep, but maybe you will have learned some lessons about how to best use your energy and bring some of that productivity into your daily experience afterwards, after the transit. So we have Mercury retrograde pretty much clear now at the beginning of the month. We have Mars just starting to wake up, taking until October 10th to regain full strength. And we have Venus getting ready to go into retrograde. So that's not going to happen until October 5th. But the shadow period starts September 4th. And the shadow period is just as important to note as the retrograde. Occasionally I'll have someone ask, why are you talking about this when it's not happening yet? And my very simple, very powerful, very accurate answer is, it is actually happening. And that's why I have to talk about it. Not everybody wants to deal with this. Most people don't want to mention it and just wait until it's actually retrograde. But you are going to be having these things come up that are true to the transit well before the transit occurs. And that's one of my overriding messages I hope that you see from the work that I'm doing, is to let you be aware that things are not happening just when they, quote, happen. There's an orb of energy before and after aspects where we're feeling them. It's kind of like when you're driving out west from the east. I do this trip across the country back and forth very often. And I always notice, right, when the eastern kind of trees and density of population start to dissipate, you start to see some, desert plants come in, and you start to see more of a sparsity of trees and a change in the kind of trees. And then you might see some mountains in the distance, and you feel the dry air. And so the desert has come to you, but you're still kind of in the space where it's not quite there yet. But you feel it, and it's happening, and it's relevant, and you're having manifestations from it, but you're not quite in the desert yet. Okay, that's how this shadow period is. It starts to smell like this, the stories that are going to come up, the typical feelings, emotions, topics start coming in. And what are those topics? They have to do with love, beauty, and money. So everybody wants to know about Venus retrograde because these are the big things that people talk about. I have done a very comprehensive job on trying to prepare you for Venus retrogrades. I have a video called Venus Retrograde Do's and Don'ts. I highly recommend that you watch this video because I am not going to do Venus retrograde justice in this video, or even in the months that in October and November when Venus is actually retrograde. We'll be talking about this between now and December. But there's nothing that I have and nothing that I know of available, even on the internet, that is as comprehensive as this video that I've made for you about Venus retrograde. So you definitely want to search for Annie Venus retrograde. I go into so much detail, and you will be very educated about this transit and understand how to best use it. Okay, but in any case, the basic things that go on are, you are not seeing clearly in love, beauty, and money. Not the best time for doing any augmentation to your body, tattoos, implants, adjustments, procedures. Venus retrograde energy is not the best for that. Making big decisions in love, you're not seeing clearly. It's best to evaluate things and work in the backdrop. Money decisions, not the best time to make big money decisions in general. And things from the past that are issues will likely come back up, for better and worse. But blessings from the past can also come back. So like, let's say you're a person who teaches a certain class, and you have to, it's the time to cycle to enroll for this class again. That's okay, because it's a class you've been teaching. And in that case, people from the past may come and you might have a very prosperous showing in your class. But this is something you've been doing. It's not brand new. It's not a new launch. It's kind of just leaning towards the past involving money. Okay, so those things tend to do really well. Going back to old clients, previous business ideas, working on them more, anything that's worked for you in the past, doing those things again versus new things are going to be the tagline of September through half of December. Anything involving love, you may have love that comes back from the past. Okay, so yes, issues can come up and will come up from the past. If you have something unresolved in your love life, it's very likely that Venus is going to bring that up in a big way. But you can also have beautiful things from the past. Like, let's say you've been with your partner a long time and you had traditions and things that you did that were awesome and you loved them and you missed them. Venus retrograde can bring them back into your life. It can bring the spark back into your love. For people who are separated from their love, if for any reason, maybe it's a military situation where somebody's abroad working, or any other international work, or even local work. If you have a partner who travels for work or who has been away, Venus retrograde can bring them back and you can see them, you know? So it's very beautiful, and there are many, many wonderful things that can come in. It's just important to remember, not the best time for launches, doing new things, making big moves, making big decisions, if you can help it, because you're not seeing clearly and you don't have the gusto of Venus going direct. It's leaning towards the past. Okay, now it can also bring love back into your life from the past. So somebody that you dated in the past, or a love interest, or someone who you were interested in the past could come back in. And in those cases, it's open for evaluation. Just try to not make any big decisions from what you're evaluating. Okay, so besides Venus retrograde and talking about all this retrograde stuff, we've got a massive amount of this beautiful energy of positive aspects, especially with outer planets. And I've gone into detail about those in the individual reports. But I want to just re-mention this, that for the first half of September, we are locked in this trine with Saturn and Capricorn and Uranus and Taurus. This can bring major manifestation, major things coming from the ethers into form, and grounding and material support in wonderful ways. We also have a beautiful aspect with Jupiter and Pluto. This is a sextile between Pluto and Jupiter, and it's occurring in, for an extended period of time again, from like the 7th through the 13th, we can feel this really strongly. So beautiful blessings, especially near 18 degrees. That Earth trine, any Earth or water placements that you have near 2 degrees will be further enhanced. For the Jupiter-Pluto aspect, water and Earth aspects or planets that you have near 18 degrees will be further enhanced. And I usually go 5 degrees in any direction. So, 13 degrees through 23 degrees for the Jupiter-Pluto aspect, and then like 0 to 7 degrees for the Earth aspect. So if you have Earth or water placements in any of those configurations, then this could be an amazing time for you. And even if you don't, you're the ones that just get the extra blessing. Everybody has the chance to benefit from these beautiful aspects. So it's super exciting. Overall, this month, we've got about 10 awesome, amazing, harmonious expressions. The dates that those occur, so let's see, I'm going to start to give you some dates here, but I want to give you a couple of caveats. One thing to know is that we can sometimes and very often feel the manifestations of a planetary configuration before or after. So I'll give you the dates, but you can feel them before or after, okay? That's the first thing to know. The second thing to know is that if you want a detailed play-by-play of what aspect is occurring on what day and what you can expect from it, then sign up for my free email newsletter at anniehelpsyou.com. At anniehelpsyou.com, you can get this free newsletter. I do a write-up that does a summary of the month, what you can expect, important details, and lots of additional details that I can't get into in the videos where we talk about what is happening on what day and what you can expect. Okay, but I am going to hit some of the highlights here. So these are the days to look out for sweet vibes, okay? But remember, you can feel them before or after these days. So the 3rd, the 6th, the 7th, the 9th, the 11th, the 12th, the 15th, the 16th, the 20th, the 23rd, and the 24th, and the 27th. Look out for stress, challenges, and overstimulation in the days around September 7th, 8th, 12th, 13th, 18th, 20th, 23rd, and 24th. So now I'm going to just hit a couple of the highlights here. I'm not going to go into all of them. You have to see the written report for that. But we've got some sweetness at the beginning of the month with a beautiful aspect with Venus and Mercury. I love this for all things. September 3rd is an amazing day for pretty much anything, okay? And this is because the Mercury shadow period, post-shadow period has passed. Mars has been direct for a little bit, is regaining steam, and Venus shadow period has not begun yet. So September 3rd, if you've got to do something important, I love September 3rd for this. I also love the days around it, because they're mostly amazing aspects. But there is one aspect within that first week, actually 2 aspects, like in the first 7-8 days on September 7th and 8th to look out for. But those days up, really the first week is just amazing for anything. So if you have to do anything important in love and beauty and money, like if you want to do your, any kind of physical things, aesthetics to your house, design projects, not on your body, but in your home, in your office, art projects, things bringing anything artistic out, anything really. This first week of September is the week that has the best open energy, free from the retrogrades, that we've had for a long time and that we're going to have for a long time. You're not going to get a freedom from the retrograde energies like this week until mid-December. Okay, so if you've got to do something important, if you have a launch that can't wait until December, you've got to bring something out, do it in this first week. This is amazing energy. Okay, we've got Mercury and Venus in a beautiful aspect. Saturn going direct can bring manifestations out into the world. We've got this trine with Saturn and Uranus. The Earth trine that's been in effect since the middle of August will still be in effect through the middle of September. It's in this exact configuration for a month. And then on September 7th, Mercury comes in and makes that trine with Uranus and Saturn a grand Earth trine. So everyone has the potential to be blessed from these transits and do stuff with them, but especially people with anywhere from 0 to 7 degrees of earth or water placements in your chart. Placements in your chart can go well beyond your sun sign, so here, those of you who'd have some working knowledge of your chart, this is going to benefit you to know this, okay? If you've got anything near 2 degrees in earth and water, this is going to energize whatever placements you have there and be even bigger and bring things to you in a bigger way. As I talk about bringing things to you in a bigger way, do note, I get this question very often. It goes something like this: Annie, and sometimes it's nicely worded and sometimes it's not nicely worded. And gosh, I wish they would all be nicely worded. But in any case, different versions of this. I'm not having the benefits that you or other astrologers are talking about as potentials from the stars, okay? So why? Why are they not having that? The reason is because if you're not a vibrational match for the things that are present as potentials, then you're not going to experience them, period. That is a law of the universe. Astrology can't get around that. Nothing can get around that. If you have a story, a program, a vibration inside of you, doesn't have to be conscious, can be unconscious, can be ancestral, can be genetic, can be whatever. If you have a storyline that's in your energy field that is different from the one that this beautiful aspect wants to create for you, you're not going to have it created for you. And that doesn't mean that the astrologer is wrong, and it doesn't mean that astrology is wrong. It means that you're not a vibrational match for the potentials that are sitting here. It's like I always say, if you have the ingredients to make a juicy peach pie on your counter, and you come out looking for the peach pie, and you're like, where's the peach pie? Someone's going to ask you, did you make the peach pie with the ingredients on the counter, or are they still there as ingredients? So this is your call from the universe to take an active role in your destiny. And if you see that there are inconsistencies with the potentials that are sitting before you, that you feel, that you see, that you hear about, and they're not manifesting, you have to look inside. Some tools I love for working inside: EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique. This is a form of meridian clearing that clears your energy field, clears belief systems. You can find things totally free online. You don't have to have any money. You can be in the worst situation in your life and not be able to put any resources into this and still access it, okay? So look up EFT. I love the Presence Process by Michael Brown, one of my favorite tools. I love the Marriage of Spirit, the exercises in Section 2 by Leslie Temple Thurston. These things are just like blockbuster self-development tools that can help you to be a vibrational match for the things that you want and these beautiful potentials that we're sitting here in front of. Okay, so now that I've said my piece about that, so once we get out of this first 7 days, and even at the end of the 7 days, we've got the Sun opposing Neptune, okay? This is our first aspect that's a little bit, iffy. It brings this question of confusion, unclarity, miscommunication, deception, security breaches. So if you're feeling insecure or weird, regardless of all these potentials around, you have to honor that. We never know when we're going to have a pocket of a manifestation from a challenging aspect, even dancing in between all these beautiful aspects. Okay, so, feel your way through it. On September 8th, we've got a clash with Venus and Mars. That's going to bring some challenges and stress. On September 9th, we've got this beautiful new moon with two beautiful outer planet aspects that are positive affecting it. But we also have Neptune giving this same kind of message. Guard your personal data and possessions. If things seem too good to be true, they may be. Anything that you're not certain about or you're confused about, you need to take more time around. But in general, this new moon at 17 degrees of Virgo is awesome. We've got beautiful positive boosts by Pluto and Jupiter, and it's time to make your new moon wishes on anything involving Virgo. So health, diet, healing work, whether you're doing the work or receiving the work or would like to be doing the work, medical tests, exams, or procedures, anything with animals or pets or workplace issues or goals. September 11th and 12th, we've got another set of amazing aspects. Enhanced discernment, positive outcomes from having an analytical eye. So you can see this chance for confusion and uncertainty is present at the same time as these enhanced mental powers are present. So you might feel that at one point on one day, and then someone else might feel it. These are rolling energies. It's kind of like, what it's like when you're in the water, right? Let's say you're in the ocean and there's a pocket of cold water, right? You're like, oh, cold. How did that happen? I just wandered into a pocket of cold water, but your knee, the bottom of your leg is in this warmer pocket, right? So that's happening. And then you're like, oh, better go over there into the warm pocket, right? So that's what these transits are like. They're happening at the same time. They're influencing. Their chance to manifest is occurring simultaneously. So you need to use your intuition to feel out I'm feeling good today. And I know these aspects are good. And I'm feeling them, so I'm going to do important things. But then if you're like, well, everyone's saying this is really good, but I feel like crap and I don't feel sure, then don't do anything. You've got to wait and follow your personal flow. Astrology is nothing unless it is helping you to enhance your own connection to yourself and to spirit and to the all that is. All right, so then we start getting a little dicey here in the middle of the month, September 12th, 13th. We've got a little rough patch. This can bring surprises in money and love. This can bring unpleasant jolts, or this can just bring overstimulation. Maybe money stuff is going great. It's going to bring up the polarity of me and we. So you versus other people close to you, entities that you're working with. But while this is all going on, we do have that beautiful Jupiter-Pluto aspect that can supersede and bring protection and benevolence even through these challenges. All right, so that September 13th, you got to look out again. If you're not sure about things, deception, uncertainty, security breaches can be more likely. Then on the 15th and the 16th, we've got more sweetness. There's at least 10 beautiful aspects this month and close to half of that of challenging ones. Okay, so even though there are some things to look out for, there's definitely more awesomeness than there are stress factors. Also towards the second week of the month is a big time for that eclipse, for more eclipse news to come in when we're a month after the August 11th eclipse, so around September 11th. That sometimes is a time when major eclipse news or continuation of a story that's already started can come up. So Mercury doing awesome things on the 15th and 16th. But at the same time, Mars and Uranus are going to make a bad aspect. Yes, I'm calling it bad. Yes, you can use it for good. Squares can always be encouragers to do something, to break through something. So in that way, it could be good. But Mars and Uranus getting together in a challenging situation, these are one of the aspects that I put a red flag up for, okay? If you've watched me for a while, or maybe you can tell already, I'm super positive. I have a very optimistic viewpoint. The art of astrology, there's a science of astrology, okay? But there's an art of astrology. It's in the eye of the beholder, the reader. So I look at everything like, how are we going to make this awesome? But at the same time, if there's something dicey, I will tell you, Okay, and this is one of those things. September 18th, watch out for your body. Watch out for pissing people off. Do not antagonize a crazy person. Do not antagonize anybody. Go easy on exercise. Go easy on important conversations. Try to not plan anything important, especially with somebody that pushes your buttons. And if you can avoid people that push your buttons around this time, that would be better. I've seen Mars aspects sometimes show up as soon as 5 days before, and quite a few days after. So remember that about these aspects. You can feel them before or after, and this is occurring at the same time that a lot of sweetness is occurring. So you've got to just, remember what I said about being in the water in the warm and cold patches. You have to, when you're in a really warm, comfy patch, then do some stuff. If it's a little bit dicey, then maybe hold off. And since Venus is going into retrograde and it's getting closer to the shadow period, by this time, your discernment might be off a little bit. It might make more sense to wait before you do something important. September 20th can be great for enhancing mental powers, but it can also bring a lot of criticism. So the 20th, the 21st, and the 23rd, we've got some challenging aspects, 2 of them with Mercury. Okay, so these are energies that can bring up old wounds. These can bring news about a physical malady. It can be something, negativity or criticism could come to you now. It could be anything having to do with like somebody, a force coming in, not being nice, just basically general negativity and criticism. But then on the 23rd, we've got this little boost with Mercury and Mars. So this brings the opportunity for amazing conversations and amazing social contacts, and can bring great mental power. The full moon at 2 degrees of Aries on September 24th is boosted with sweetness by a trine with Jupiter and a sextile with Mars. At the same time, it can have additional intensity from a square with Saturn and then a Chiron conjunction. So whenever Saturn is involved, usually criticism or pressure is involved. Okay, and then whenever Chiron's involved, especially in a challenging aspect, it can bring this victim tyrant mentality or polarity. Okay, so you could feel like somebody is doing something to you, or someone could be accusing you of being a bully or a tyrant, which you may or may not be. But this topic is what's brought up. So fullness, completion, fruition, drama can come to anything in the area of Aries, especially your physical body, especially the head or brain, or anything having to do with your circulation or your neurological system. It can have something to do with fruition about recognition, so coming out into the light, your image, your individuality, pioneering efforts, daring goals, anything that has to do with Aries. We end off the month, September 27th, with a beautiful aspect with the Sun and Mars. So this is great for confidence and enthusiasm. Do remember that even though it can bring positive use of assertiveness and great for attracting or expressing positive masculine traits or energies, we're getting super close to Venus retrograde now. Okay, so just be really careful with the decisions you make and don't let your enthusiasm make you take on something too soon. All right, this is like this process of following retrogrades is like watching the ripening of fruit. It makes me think I have a grapevine, and you feel the grapes, right? And they're edible. You get to where they're edible, and you might be excited to eat them. But if you wait like 1 or 2 more sunny days, that grape is going to be bursting with so much extra sweetness and juiciness. That is what I want you to hold with you for this energy of the retrogrades. And you'll hear me mentioning this a lot because I really want to get it imprinted into you to associate the retrogrades with this. If you're excited to bring something out, but things aren't quite working out and you're not completely sure, maybe it's better to work on it in the backdrop until December. Mid-December, the end of December is going to be an amazing time in the cosmos. So many wonderful things going on and beautiful energy around bringing things out into the world. So just kind of tune in and make sure that the things that you were thinking about doing are really ready to be plucked off of the vine. So if you are interested in learning astrology, I would love to see you in my astrology apprenticeship program. I don't know for how long, but I will be off sabbatical. I have been on a long sabbatical of not taking individual clients for live readings, but I have some openings now. So if you've been wanting to work with me, then you have your chance. You can go to anniehelpsyou.com. You can sign up for my free email newsletter there, get your monthly write-ups, get all kinds of other goodies. And you can see more about working with me in various capacities on my website. If you'd like a written horoscope from me, then go to cozybysweetstarlight.com. And you'll also see my lifestyle blogs there. If you're a traveler, go to Astrology Kissed Travel Bliss. That is where I write my monthly astrology travel reports. So astrology reports just for the traveler, extra things that we might not talk about in the general report or the sign reports. And definitely check out my husband's website, IamHelios.com. My husband, B.R. Newman, is an amazing phenom of creativity. He's amazing with tarot. He teaches tarot. If you've wanted to learn tarot, definitely check out his tarot course. And he puts together these vibrational masterpieces to help you attune to the stars and to bring the positive aspects out of expression and to work with the challenging ones. So check out his database of audio assistance at IamHelios.com. So I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.